In the mid-1980s and early 1990s, there weren't a lot of TV stars more visible or popular than Delta Burke. After the success of Designing Women, however, this standout star of the show never hit the same career high with a solo project. Here's what happened to Delta Burke. The slow descent of Delta Burke from award-winning star of an extremely popular sitcom to a page in the Whatever Happened To file began in the summer of 1990. For 4 years, Burke had entertainingly headlined CBS's hit comedy Designing Women. Set in an Atlanta interior design company, Burke played Suzanne Sugarbaker, an extremely arrogant ex-beauty queen who still treated everyone she came in contact with like a servant or underling, and with utter disdain. While that fictional dynamic was played for laughs, behind the scenes, things supposedly weren't so happy.
I fell apart. Most of the time when you thought I was out panhandling, I was just sitting in that big pay toilet crying.
According to the Deseret News, Burke publicly accused show producers Harry Thomason and Linda Bloodworth Thomason of, quote, psychologically abusing her. As she explained in 1992, it became unbearable into the second season for me. By the end of the fourth season, I just couldn't live like that anymore. Burke added that she asked the show's production company and CBS to step in, and neither entity honored her request. The Thomasons argued that Burke was at fault, dubbing her a tough and temperamental actor to work with, and releasing a statement calling themselves, quote, mentally exhausted from working with her every day. Things only got worse over the 1990-1991 season. And when it wrapped, Burke, who reportedly acted like she was the true and outright star of the ensemble comedy, found herself out of a job. Despite her controversial and high-profile 1991 exit from Designing Women, TV producers still very much wanted to work with Burke. After all, for 5 seasons, she'd anchored a hit sitcom that earned 3 Emmy nominations for Outstanding Comedy Series and ranked in the top 30 most-watched shows at its peak. Burke was a proven star who could potentially pull in an audience without the writing and acting ensemble of Designing Women. ABC was so confident in Burke that in 1992, the network gave the green light for a sitcom called simply Delta. Scarcely a year removed from Designing Women, Burke played against type as Delta Bishop, an insecure wannabe country singer whose career wasn't taking off, forcing her to take a job as a server. Failing to draw many Designing Women diehard fans, Delta lasted just 1 season of 15 episodes and ranked a lowly 71st in the annual TV ratings. While Burke left her signature role on her most famous project under murky, even controversial circumstances, CBS and Designing Women creator Linda Bloodworth Thomason were able to lure Delta Burke back into portraying Suzanne Sugarbaker one more time.
Hi, I'm Suzanne Sugarbaker. And before we begin, I would like to apologize for the size of my hair.
On the 1995 spinoff Women of the House, viewers learned that Suzanne had married a powerful member of Congress, only for him to die, leaving her to assume his seat in the House of Representatives. Most episodes focus less on politics and this fish-out-of-water premise, and more on Suzanne clashing with her jaded and cynical staff, which included future Everybody Loves Raymond star Patricia Heaton. With much fanfare, Women of the House hit CBS's schedule in January 1995, right in the middle of the TV season. The initial reviews didn't bode well, as critics slammed everything from the lack of chemistry in the cast to the show's sense of humor. In the end, Women of the House was canceled just 3 months after it premiered. The failure marked Burke's second straight flop, even though it was a spin-off of a hit-acclaimed sitcom. In 2000, Burke got yet another chance at sitcom glory, courtesy of NBC, and a new sitcom titled simply Dag. Dag starred comedian David Alan Grier as prickly Secret Service agent Jerome Daggett, demoted from his job protecting the president to an assignment defending First Lady Judith Whitman, who was equal parts pretentious and zany. Delta Burke was well cast as this character of prestige, power, and influence, and it marked her first regular role on a TV series since Women of the House flopped 5 years earlier. Unfortunately, Dag wouldn't provide the career comeback or prove the star vehicle Burke and her team probably hoped it would. The show was again hit with poor reviews, and NBC canceled Dag in the spring of 2001 after just 16 episodes. Well over a decade after the dismal performance of Dag, Delta Burke tried her luck at yet another TV comeback. According to Deadline, Sony Pictures TV sold a pilot to ABC called Counterculture, which could have earned Burke a prime spot on the 2012-2013 primetime calendar. Unfortunately, an accident that Burke suffered on set while shooting the pilot for Counterculture sealed the show's doom. According to Deadline, the actor endured a fall so severe that she was unable to work for weeks. That pushed the timeline for the pilot back so far that ABC decided to just not consider the pilot for its fall season at all, canceling Burke's return to TV before it could even begin. Since her time on Designing Women ended in 1991, Burke has played many vivacious, charming, and self-assured Southern women, though often in a voice-only capacity. On the mid-1990s Family Channel sitcom The Mighty Jungle, about a man who runs a backyard zoo populated with talking animals only he can hear, Burke voiced a toucan named Viola. A few years later, in the family movie Good Boy, she played a pretentious, pampered diva of a poodle named Barbara Ann. Burke has also spent her time away from TV roles, returning to the stage. The actress made her Broadway debut in September 2003, taking over the role of Mrs. Mears in the long-running Best Musical Tony-winning production of Thoroughly Modern Millie. Having been bitten by the live theater bug, Burke returned to Broadway in April 2005 in a revival of Steel Magnolias, the enduringly popular play about a group of Southern women as Truvy. Though the New York Times reviewer at the time didn't enjoy the overall revival, Burke's performance was well received. In 2006, Burke appeared in the play Southern Baptist Sissies. Set in a Texas small town, it's about 4 young gay men recounting how they were awakened to their sexual orientation and the conflict that created within their religious and conservative community. Appearing in a play about LGBTQ people and issues amounted to outreach and advocacy for Burke. In response, the Human Rights Campaign bestowed its Equality Award on the actor for what the advocate called her work promoting ideals of, quote, acceptance and understanding. In her acceptance speech, delivered years before same-sex marriage was legalized across the United States, Burke took a stand. As she said at the time, "I took this play because I have hope too. Times are changing, folks. So yes, I believe in gay marriage. I believe in equal rights." While Delta Burke has moved into and out of the spotlight afforded by television and theater since the 1980s, she's also spent a great deal of time and effort off-screen coping with and treating a series of mental health issues. In January 2008, according to ABC News, Burke admitted herself to a psychiatric facility for depression. The treatment came after years of anxiety and panic attacks, which she often endured on the set of Designing Women during rehearsals. With the panic attacks came suicidal thoughts, and Burke sought help and was prescribed antidepressants. But she still suffered from depressive bouts before her medications stopped working entirely by early 2008. Those issues eventually led to the hospital stay, which also led her to seek help for another problem: hoarding. At the height of her problem, Burke admitted to having crammed 27 storage units so full she could barely walk through them. She later explained to Psychology Today that she felt her hoarding tendencies had come directly from her mother. Amid a controversial TV career that included a contentious exit from a hit show and a string of flops, Delta Burke has enjoyed one of the longest-lasting marriages in Hollywood, where conventional wisdom says relationships fizzle out quickly. In 1987, Burke, who was already a star on Designing Women, appeared in a single episode of the CBS action show Simon & Simon. On the set, she met that series' star, Gerald McRaney, later known for his stints on Major Dad and This Is Us. A few months later, the couple made it red carpet official when they attended the Emmy Awards together. By 1989, they were married, forming a dynamic 1980s TV power couple. According to Burke, their marriage has been rock solid, even and especially through individual challenges, like her type 2 diabetes diagnosis and his lung cancer surgery. Though the couple have spent much of their marriage living apart, as McRaney continues to travel for acting work, Burke, by all accounts, remains confident in his undying love for her, even when they're not together. Apart from the occasional TV role, movie gig, theatrical engagement, and interview, Delta Burke has stayed out of the public eye in the 21st century. And there's a good reason for that. It's all intentional. A source close to her told OK Magazine in 2020 that Burke stays out of the spotlight for the sake of her own mental health, though she's still happy to run into fans on the street occasionally. Though she's backed away from acting almost entirely over the last few years, living in content semi-retirement, Burke can still occasionally occasionally be talked into work. Her most recent appearance came in the 2019 Netflix series Dolly Parton's Heartstrings, starring alongside her husband, which broke a 10-year absence following a one-episode stint on Drop Dead Diva. Check out one of our newest videos right here. Plus, even more Nicki Swift videos about your favorite TV stars are coming soon. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit the bell so you don't miss a single one.